So it is, dollars. Hello and welcome, YouTube, to Cthulhu Confidential. My friend, magician, and I will be going through the mean and rather haunted streets of 1930s Los Angeles. I am playing Dex Raymond, an archetypal, hard-boiled private investigator. And this is episode 1.
Well, let us start with a question to you, Mr. Raymond. We are in your office. It's a dingy, rundown office somewhere in Bunker Hill. Tell me, what's the one item there that sets it apart from other private detectives? What's unique?
As tempted as I am to say a black enamel bird statue in one corner.
You can. Is it a trophy from a previous investigation?
It's actually a plaster cast. It's a failed investigation.
Oh,
I found a plaster blackbird.
you found the fake.
The fake. I found the fake. But it's there on top of the filing cabinets.
Did you keep it out of sentimental reasons?
No, the client hasn't paid for it.
Ah,
It's a debt, unpaid. It's
was
also kind of pretty.
the client the previous dame? The reason you are lonely?
While Dex would never say such a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The bird that flew the coop.
That was the title of your previous case. The title of the case that's about to walk through your door is Fathomless Sleep.
Fathomless sleep. Ah, it's a trip to the grocery store
There is
buy
a knock
rum.
on your door. There is an outline of a woman you can see through the glass.
Dex gets up, puts on his cap, walks to the door, opens it. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Raymond, I presume?
Dex tips his cap. Come on in. How can I help you?
Well, so the first impression you get from seeing her, the first word that comes to mind, is sultry.
It was a dark night in a lonely city. Dame just came to my door. Sultry dames don't come to my door. We all know this. Let's find out what she wants.
It is my sister, Mr. Raymond. Something terrible has happened to her, and I need you to find out who did it.
Well then, your name is?
I'm Margaret Deakin.
Okay, so we go client.
Margaret Deakin. D-E-A-K-I-N.
Okay, and so job. Missing sister?
No, she's not missing. She's been hurt.
I'm no doctor.
No, doctors have been no help.
I'm no priest either.
Oh, she's... How do I put this? She's gone missing several weeks ago.
I thought you said
And
she
when
wasn't-
she's been returned to us, when she was found, she wasn't the same. She barely recognized me. She's barely said a word. She doesn't leave her room, doesn't leave her bed even.
Why me?
I've done my research. I've asked around. You have a reputation of being a mostly honest person.
My rate's $10 a day plus expenses.
That will not be a problem.
She agreed too quickly. $10 a day was pretty steep, even for a dame who's obviously as well heeled as this one was. Should have said 20.
This is an opportunity for you to recall something, as Dex has accounting as one of his investigative abilities.
Just not one of his professional ones.
No. The name Deacon does ring a bell. There is one Roscoe Deacon, a real estate magnate. You've heard he's retired a couple of years back and that one of his daughters was basically running the business.
Okay, I don't see how accounting... So, when I see accounting, I imagine forensic accounting, where I can look at the books of a business and see what's being fiddly. Is it more of a social thing, or I don't...
So, these skills also extend to the general knowledge around that area and even knowledge of rumors within that social circle. Which is what
accountants have rumors. Okay.
Well, so a lot of the examples of cop talk used in this adventure, for instance, are not so much you talking to cops to find out what it is, but knowing what cops would think about it.
Okay, so let me just think through this. I've got the client here. She's obviously rich.
Would you mind lighting my cigarette? She leans in.
Dex suavely pulls out his flip lighter and snap, snap, holds it up.
This, see, if you did not have the lonely problem, I would say that this is a time for a challenge. Because you do have the lonely problem, I will offer you an opportunity to replace it with the other problem, which is smitten with Margaret. You can still choose to roll, but if it feels right, you don't need the lonely problem anymore.
Oh no, it's still there. I put Smitten by Margaret on top of it just to be very, very clear that when she is no longer,
as you wish.
So, briefly, Smitten by Margaret. Now, before I was interrupted by the plot, my internal monologue. Okay, so we've got a couple things. We've got accounting, we've got assess honesty, we've got bargain. Now, I assume that in the normal game you're not going to give me prompts like you can use accounting.
Most of the time I will not, but in the first couple of scenes I probably will.
So let me just work through this to see what I want to apply. And can I just say I'm applying this, then I'm applying this? Or...
You can, but you also probably want to talk to her and get the details before you know what to apply.
Okay. So accounting can be used to get a sense of her financial background.
Yes.
So I'm absolutely going to be using that. Assess honesty. She hasn't really made any testable claims yet. So I'm going to assume that she's a typical client and completely lying. Bargain, I don't see how... we're not negotiating for services because I apparently gave too low of a number. I don't see how bargain is investigative, though.
Well, let us flip to the detailed descriptions of skills so we can answer that question. Loading, please wait. You are a bargain. You are an expert in making deals with others, convincing them that the best arrangement for you is also the best for them. You can haggle for goods and services, gauge likely prices of items, blah, mediate hostage situations, swap favors for information, exchange cash for information. So this is an interpersonal skill along with, inspiration, intimidation,
reassurance, etc.
It is all how you get information out of people.
Okay. So yes, I'm going to use my investigative accounting.
Right. Well, I basically gave you the rundown of it already. If this is who you're thinking about, she does have a reputation as actually being rather competent, to the surprise of others.
Good at running business?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dex already ignoring the accusing glare of the blackbird on his file cabinets, puts one arm around Margaret, leads her over to the rather battered and completely untrustworthy couch in the corner. Because, yeah, there's a coffee table and a couch for when moments like this come up. What it's actually there for is when he's had too much to drink and just crashes on the couch. But it's for client conferences that shouldn't be interrupted by a desk.
She fairly smoothly avoids stepping on a bottle lying on the floor and sits at your prompting.
All right, Margaret. Your sisters come back. You found me. You want me to find out what happened?
That is the gist of it, yes.
What do you know?
Helen, that's my sister. She went missing about 6 weeks ago. And 4 weeks ago, she was found by the police. They picked her up downtown, late at night, wandering alone, just wearing a bloodied camisole and nothing else. They recognized who she was, and they knew that we were looking for her, so they brought her to us. And she's basically been unresponsive since. We've had the best doctors come around.
Where was she picked up?
They just said downtown streets. I'm afraid I don't actually remember.
All right. And where was she lost? Where did she go missing?
Oh, I mean, although we do live in the same mansion, we're not as close as we used to be. It took me a couple of days to even realize that she hadn't come back. I mean, she has her overnight stays.
Sorry, come back. So she left the mansion.
She has her dialences.
I'm going to use some assess honesty here.
Sure. Margaret is actually telling the truth. She's not even being that evasive. This is obviously a private matter, and she's not very eager to just spill all the details to the person she's barely met. But yeah, she's interested in seeing this done properly.
So in the most reassuring manner. All right. Well, I'm going to have to look at the mansion and see if there's any signs. It's been 6 weeks and there have been some rains, so... And then, of course, I'm going to have to see where she was picked up.
I don't believe she was taken from the mansion.
Oh. So she left the mansion
with
her own car?
Probably.
Do you have a driver?
No.
Does she have a driver?
No. But she often does get picked up by, well, a gentleman caller.
Is it the same gentleman?
Well, I know she has multiple admirers, but I only know of one. And he did come looking for her when she was still missing.
What's his name?
Marshall Daly. He's some sort of screenwriter, I think, at Capital Pictures. He's seemed the jealous type. I wasn't entirely certain that he had nothing to do with her disappearance, so I didn't really tell him much when he came looking.
That's understandable. Dex holds out an ashtray to make sure that the accumulated ashes don't fall onto the rug, where all of the accumulated ashes that he smokes fall onto. He knows how to be a gentleman when there's someone else in his office.
Naturally.
So we have Marshall Daly.
Yep.
As
Single L, technically, but doesn't really matter.
Spelling. You and your spelling. Marshall Daly.
Daly.
Like mayor. Actually, no. Okay. History of Chicago politics would be which investigative skill?
Los Angeles.
Yes.
Well,
That's why I said Chicago, because the Daly family is a big name in Chicago politics.
we're not in Chicago,
Yeah.
and there is no relation.
Okay. But assuming that I wanted to know about politics...
This is a very good question. There is even a sidebar about this. Streetwise. Because in LA, politics are intertwined with the underworld.
Okay.
And as Dex is a practicing detective in LA, he knows about the underworld. In fact, you'll be able to even spend pushes on Streetwise to declare that you know prominent figures.
So, I use my Streetwise to see if there's any lore about this guy. Or about her. Because if she's sleeping around...
No, for him, for her, probably not. She's not a prominent girlfriend of a prominent person. You will need to dig up a bit more before that happens.
Okay.
I will offer you more
Yes,
advice when it comes up.
Okay, so... But we don't know any of the other gentlemen callers?
I don't know their names.
Okay.
She likes to keep it private.
Who else is either works at or occupies your mansion?
Well, my father, Roscoe.
Wait, right click. Ooh, hey.
Yes.
Interface. Okay, right click. So this is father.
Yep. Roscoe.
And it's yours and your sister's father.
Yes.
Roscoe Deacon. Okay?
I mean, we have several servants as well, but I
Well, we'll start with the father. Tell me about dear old dad.
She sighs, and it's easy to see that it's something of a touchy subject.
So, in his most reassuring manner, Dex lightly rubs her shoulder. Very, very comforting, very here. I know it's sensitive, but I need to know everyone. I don't know your family, and I need to know everyone involved. I'm
Of
so
course.
sorry.
My father, well, he used to be a businessman. But after our mother died, he decided, that was a couple of years ago, he decided that he's done enough and that he wanted to finally live his life as he wished. He's retired and left the operations to me.
What does he do now?
Gamble, mostly.
And so this would be streetwise or accounting? I want to know if he has any debts. Or, sorry, I want to know if he has a rep of having any debt.
This would probably be streetwise, and you're not certain, but that does sound very, very likely.
Okay, so reputation streetwise of debt. Do you know if he's been especially unlucky lately?
Well, it's... Look, I don't think that has anything to do with it. About maybe 6 months ago, I've confronted him about his spending. and he promised to, well, keep it in check.
And where does he like to gamble?
Actually, there is one place, I think, that... don't remember. There is certainly one place, but I don't know the name. It's one of those rug joints, not strictly on the up and up.
Speakeasy. I assume Streetwise doesn't tell me.
There can be so many different ones.
Does it look like she's holding back, or does it look like she doesn't remember?
It looks like she's very uncomfortable talking about her father, but she's not holding back on information.
Okay. Well, Dex is going to lay on the reassurance, not to pump her more, but just to make sure that she doesn't get too skittish. It'd be a shame to lose $10 a day plus expenses. Especially when she doesn't want to see receipts. Okay, so likes to gamble at. Okay, and then servants. Because they're people too.
Are they?
Yes.
Surprising. Well, there is Wheatcroft. He's our butler.
Sorry?
No.
Shall we have a different name then? Wheatcroft?
Wheatcroft. Not Lovecroft or anything. Wheatcroft.
Okay.
It's a perfectly sensible name.
Wheatcroft, butler. Okay. And what do we know about, I assume, H. Wheatcroft?
He's the most boring man I know. Other staff only come there several times a week.
Okay, so Wheatcroft is the butler.
Croft.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have Margaret, father, Roscoe, servant, Wheatcroft. Our job is to find out what happened to Helen. We don't know where she was taken. We don't know where she was returned.
Correct.
We know that there's an admirer, Marshall. He doesn't have a rep on the scene.
He does not.
I'm repeating back to you to make sure.
Yes, I'm confirming that this is all correct so far.
All right, Margaret. It's late. I'll start investigating tomorrow. How do you want me to contact you?
You can call me, or... Yeah, that is probably for the best. I don't think you coming around to our home will be good for Helen's state.
Now, I will have to interview her. I'll be gentle.
I really don't think that's a very good idea. So, speaking out of character, if you want to spend a reassurance push...
Okay, so...
To convince...
These 4 green things are my pushes?
Correct.
Yes, I am absolutely going to be... Being able to talk to the victim...
That is to go and talk to her now. You may be able to convince Margaret that it's necessary if you do other investigation and run into a dead end.
Okay, so, Margaret, I'm going to have to come by. I understand that talking to your sister is going to be very touchy. Perhaps just introduce me so that if I have to come by later, what I really want to do is talk to your father, talk to the servants, just to make sure that I have an understanding of what's going on.
Well, I suppose you are the professional here, but do be very careful with her. I would not want
You'll be in the room the entire time.
Of course.
And by voluntarily offering this concession, I'm hoping to build trust, because I'm a manipulative prick.
Yes, and I took one of your pushes. Because so am I.
Wait, what?
I told you, if you want to Okay.
Well, no.
Sorry. If you were just
I would-
floating the possibility of doing this in the future.
I'm laying groundwork.
Okay, that's
Basically,
fine.
I'm doing I'm going to be talking to Father and Butler to start with, and introducing myself to see if I can pick up any tells.
Sure.
But
Okay.
actually, talking to her will require sneaking into her window late at night instead.
Okay, that is a plan. Sure.
Okay. Did you come here in a car?
Oh, yes. It's waiting for me downstairs.
Would you like me to walk you down?
If you insist.
I insist.
So throughout this interview, she's accepted your signs of affection,
This is so creepy.
but more out of politeness, you feel, rather than actual reciprocation in any way.
So creepy. It feels wrong. Sorry. Dex is a creep. That's fine.
That is fine. But yes, she doesn't lead you on, as it were.
No. Unfortunately, Dex doesn't need leading on. So Dex walks her down. His walking her down actually has a couple of intentions. Okay. One, to make sure she's safe. Two, he wants to see who else is around. And I assume this is an investigative skill of probably streetwise, just to see what's... I want to see if she's getting tailed already.
So normally that would be a sense trouble general ability. But I will not call for one if there isn't one.
Okay.
You look around, no one is...
Well, it's not so much looking around, is after she gets in the car, I want to see if a car pulls out behind. Yeah. Like...
Nothing like that happens. No one is following her best that you can tell.
Okay.
If there is such a thing, I will call for a test. You, the player, will know it's happening even if the character fails it.
Okay. So it's none of this nonsense. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've set the scene. We have a couple characters.
Yes. So where will the Dex? Yes. Where will Dex go next? What clue will
What
he
time of
pick
day
up
is it on?
Oh, well, you've said that it is evening, so
Yep.
it is evening.
What shift does Ted work?
You tell me.
Probably evening. Just
Sure.
what I want to do is go to county records rather than the shop, and I want to see what's in the records about this job. Because a kidnapping of a socialite should have some records. And so I want to go in when it's quiet, and there aren't too many people there.
From previous meetings with Ted, you know that...
Well, I don't want to go in to Ted. I want to just go to records.
Oh, people probably won't be particularly happy to have you rummaging around in records.
Yeah, that's why it's public records.
Okay.
I want to get the low-hanging fruit first.
Well, so Corp Talk
Yep.
will suggest to you that it's not actually very likely to be in records if the police report wasn't filed. And it doesn't sound like it was filed for disappearance. And if a patrol simply picked her up and knew who she was and knew that on the down low the family was looking for her, there will be no records. She is a pretty girl heiress to a fortune. Problems go away.
Well, you know what? It's an evening. I'm going to go verify that. Like, I don't want a lot of trouble. I don't want to chat with a lot of people. But it will be really significant if my assumptions are wrong.
Sure, absolutely.
I go to records.
You go to records and... Yep.
There are a couple things that I want to see. Where is her house? Since I got all this, I probably got her address as well.
You absolutely did. One moment. Let me see if there is any indication of that. Beverly Hills, of course.
Oh, dear. So, therefore, I have to go to the Beverly Hills precinct. This is going to be awkward. All right. So, as GM, are records somewhat centralized, or do I need to visit the downtown and Beverly Hills precincts for their last couple months of records? Because I want to do a couple of things. I want to see if she's gotten into the records, but I also want to see what else has gotten into the records. I want to get a feel for those neighborhoods because they're not Bunker Hill.
Okay, so this might be a better job for your another acquaintance that you don't have listed on the card there, Sergeant Len Pollard. He's a desk jockey. So this is kind of his job.
Okay, so, contact?
Yeah. Sergeant Len Pollard.
L-E-M?
L-E-N, yeah.
Len
Pollard.
Len Pollard, okay.
Yep.
And desk jockey.
He performs shady favors for you occasionally, like pulling confidential files or fixing traffic tickets. So this would absolutely be in his wheelhouse. So instead of Dex running around for 2 days, pulling up records in multiple precincts, this is something that he can do for you.
All right. Where does he like to drink?
You know what? You tell me.
Well, it's Los Angeles, 1930s. No, I don't think he'd like the Blue Parrot. The Blue Parrot seems a little bit upscale for him. This is 1930s. Let's go to Trader Vic's. It's an actual location in LA.
Okay, I'm not familiar with 1930s LA, so
But
you lead on that.
I mean, it's a nightclub.
Sure.
It's in West LA, Westish LA, I think on Wilshire, but it's been a long time. But it's a nightclub. A little frayed at the edges. So, like, the Blue Parrot is the nightclub. Yeah. And then there's second tier of nightclubs. And then there's a third tier of nightclubs. And then there's Trader Vic's.
To be fair, that's probably the place where both Dex and Pollard belong.
It is. That's why he goes there.
Excellent. Okay, so Pollard is an indeterminate middle-aged man from 40 to 60. Slightly shabby clothes. Clearly not a credit to the force, but you knew that already.
Dex slides a drink over the table.
Much appreciated.
How's life been treating you?
Oh, well, it's them damn doctors, I'm telling you. They keep keep telling me to lose weight. He pats his prodigious belly. I keep telling them I'm just fine as I am. And I keep nagging and nagging and nagging.
You're just fine. They don't know nothing.
Damn right.
Here to ask a small favor.
Yeah? What is it?
Can you let me know what's been going down? Just look through the files, Beverly Hills and downtown, last 2 months or so. Names or big things.
Big things. Well, that's rather a vague request.
It is. I've got a new
Got
case.
a name for me?
Well, I'm not telling anyone, but I'm on a Deacon case.
Deacon.
The girl who was kidnapped? Found?
I might have heard something about that. I'll look around.
Not really asking for you to look into there, because I know that that's pretty hot. Just want to know what else has been going on. Who's playing in these towns? What's been going on? Where are the gangs? Where's the mob?
Everywhere, am I right?
Well, Dex returns the elbow waggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I don't want you to go sticking your neck out, but just what's the scuttlebutt on these places?
You got it.
Same time tomorrow night?
You got that right.
All right. Dex very carefully notes down the price of the drinks.
And he will need to buy a few more tomorrow.
Oh, yes, he will. And so with that, I think I'm going to say unto thee, Wallace Sir Dulles, and have a rather alcoholic day. Bye-bye.